What's going on, guys? This is Frank from Texas Cigar Society, and today on the Stogie Society podcast, we have a very special guest. We have Jeremy McDonald from Wildfire Cigars. How's it going, Jeremy? How are you doing today, sir?
It's good. It's good. Thanks. That wasn't even a funny intro. I couldn't laugh.
I know. I don't know why Google thought it was a funny intro.
I was expecting to see drawers down and ass out, and no, it was just
people getting kicked in the nuts or something. No,
Jackass style.
Yeah, like Jackass style. Yeah, but no, it's just a regular intro video.
Yeah, just a professional video. I don't know.
Oh, professional.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Professional
ish.
I've been on some podcasts, so ish plus. So
there you go.
Take that. Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it, dude. Trust me, I will take that compliment. But anyways, Hugo, how you doing today, sir? Too good to see you.
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, everybody? What's everybody smoking?
What's up in the chat?
I am smoking the Wildfire. I'm gonna butcher this. I thought it was pronounced the Artois, but it's not, right? It's the Aetos, something like that.
No, but I like Aetos. That's no, it's Arteus.
Oh, Arteus. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm smoking the same thing. Arteus.
Yep. See, he went second so that he could say it right and make you look
exactly.
bad.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, Jeremy, and then I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I smoked that all the time. And I apologize for making a cigar with a name that is hard to pronounce because it's actually my pet peeve. And then I did it, and I didn't realize that it was going to be such a bitch to do, but it is.
Hey, so. No, you do you, boo boo. Trust me, this it's your brand. You can name it however you want to. I mean, we've seen some pretty weird names in our time within the cigar industry, bro. Like, trust me, you can do what you want.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I had the bear thing, and it kind of tied in with the trade show in that I brought like the bear out and like a costume and all that. And it was kind of a joke, but then I was going to name it Kodiak, and then I got a cease and desist before it came out, obviously because the chew. And I was like, oh
that's
shit.
Right.
But I really liked the bear thing. So I was like Googling all these, like, what's, this bear name and this, and like the bear gods and like the Celtic, like bear god that like was named Arteus, but in different, it's like Greek and also Celtic, same lineage, but they pronounce it differently. So Artois may not be incorrect. I don't know all the pronunciations of it. So we'll give it to you.
Yeah. I thought it was the same thing. I thought it was Artois, and I even told Hugo when we bought the cigar, and I'm like, I think it's Artois. It sounds more fancy, but both names sound amazing.
Artois, it has like a flair to it. Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi.
I'm just going after the beer Stella Artois, right?
There you go. What it is? Yeah, that's kind of like what it is. Yeah, sort of, kind of.
It's fair.
How about you, Jeremy? What are you smoking?
I'm smoking the Breakdown, actually.
The Breakdown
is a release that will be coming later this year.
Is that part of that triple, like the intro?
It is. Yeah. It's the third part to the series, and so when I was in Honduras, we finalized the blend, and then I had to let them rest, and so I'm retesting them to make sure it's not really a proto. I mean, it is a prototype, but the blend is good. So
gotcha. So we're just waiting on that actual release date.
Yeah, I would say that it's going to drop probably around July.
Perfect. So if you can, I guess we'll start off with the questions. Can you tell us a little bit about the origin story behind Wildfire? Or actually, you know what? Let's start off the other way. Let me stop that question. what got you with the cigars? Like, what was your go-to moment that made you fall in love with the cigar and the cigar industry?
Well, according to Frank, it's going to be a shit show because it's only you two guys today. So I don't, I sorry I got distracted by that. What was it that got me into the industry? Is that what you asked?
Did I break up?
Yeah,
he's all frozen up.
Yeah, I think he was asking what got you into the cigar industry.
I started in 2001. I went to a shop that I was smoking cigars at, and then asked them if they needed help. And then, like 6 months later, at that time it was RTDA before the IPCPR. So they were going to go as a shop. So they're like, hey, you want to watch the shop? And I was like, yeah. So it was a second job for me. And then I never left the shop. I still worked other jobs for a period of time. And then I ended up leaving the job I was at and working full time at the shop. And then I did that for like 11 years. And then I was like, oh, I want to get on the other side of the industry. So I went into repping. And then while I was repping, I met Robert Caldwell because I was working with the brand CLE, and he had the brand Winwood. So he and I started traveling together quite a bit because I was the West Coast territory rep. And I was building that brand. And then he and I became good friends. And then he and Christian split. And then when he decided to start Caldwell Cigars, he and I had been friends by that point. So he was like, you want to like leave, jump ship? And I was like, fuck yeah. So I did that. And I think it was like 2019. I got to the end point where I was like, I've kind of done everything I want to do in this industry. So I was like, I'm either going to make a cigar in like my own brand or I'm going to leave the industry. Because I was just, I don't know, like spent a lot of years in it. And, yeah, so then I had a conversation with Robert Caldwell, and then he was on board with it, like supportive as far as me, leaving the company and starting my own brand. And so I did. So it was it's not like I woke up one day and was like, I got to have a cigar brand. It was more so like, I either want to do something completely for myself or like just enjoy cigars and get the fuck out of the game. And I decided to be dumb enough to start it for myself.
I mean, you're doing a good job with it so far. I mean, I've enjoyed a couple of your cigars, and I mean, I've seen a lot of the reviews, and I mean, it's all been positive, positive reaction to your stuff. So I guess you did a good job.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, like, it's such a, like, no one, like, you can go to school to become a chef, right? Like, and learn culinary and like, but when it comes to like blending and stuff, there's not really any kind of, it's like you have to find someone that'll like kind of take you under their wing and show you how it works. Like, anybody can throw tobaccos together and make a smokable cigar, right? But it's a whole nother world. But I really, really enjoy that part. Like, that's the part I nerd out on and really, really like. And then I like being able to like smoke them with people. But man, it's been like it's a learning curve like crazy, because it's just, I feel like each cigar I make, I'm getting better and better at it, or better at being able to depict what I want out of that cigar, instead of like, so it doesn't mean I don't think, the prior cigars I have aren't good, but it's just like getting the thought out in my head of what I want that cigar to be like. It gets easier each time. Some blends come together super easily, and some blends feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill. But I mean, that part's fun, a lot of fun.
So with the name Wildfire, I mean, there's got to be a story behind that. So why did you name your brand Wildfire?
I mean, it's kind of funny because California is always on fire. I'm not trying to be like super insensitive, but I've been told that I am, so I might as well own it. But it's like,
Exactly.
you know, but I know, I mean, I'm California, like, I kind of, in the same way, I had a name for the company that I had registered and gotten the trademark for. And then, you know, in the last phase, when you trademark something, you have a period of time where you can dispute it. And so someone did, and there was a guy that was opening a shop, and he like contested it, and I had the trademark, but I didn't want to be a dickhole, and I was like, dude, I don't want to come out of the gates with the brand with a lawsuit. So we had already had the campfire as the logo, and stuff was already in motion. So no joking, I was just like, okay, if I want to keep this graphic, what could I use? And then, like, you know, the fires were going on. And so I was like, yeah, this is on the nose. I'm going to go for it. So hence Wildfire Cigars.
Wow. So what was your first blend? What was your first cigar from your, you know, Wildfire?
The first one I debuted with was the single. And then the single was an LE, and then the first core line was Revivalist. I had another blend that was originally supposed to be the single, and El Titan was going to be the ones producing it, but it was during the era of Cohiba Red Dot, and it took over their manufacturing, so I kept getting like pushed back and back and back, and I was like, I can't do this, like this ain't gonna work. And that blend was one that I had been playing around with Henderson Ventura every time I would go to the DR when I was working with Caldwell, and it was just for fun, or I was going to use it for like event only kind of thing when I was with Caldwell. But so that cigar never came out because Hoya, like, we had to, I didn't have the blend. It's crazy. I didn't remember the blend and didn't have it written down. So I had sent the last two that I had, so they deconstructed it to try to rebuild it. Mm-hmm. So technically I can, you know, go back to them and we can figure it out and release it at some point. But yeah, the single was the first one to actually hit the market.
Oh, okay, gotcha. The first one I ever tried was the Revivalist, and I love that cigar. I think that's one of my first like review videos I posted on my YouTube.
Oh,
I really
awesome.
did enjoy that one.
Yeah, man, that's like been a slow. It's kind of like the slow burner of the bunch. I think because I came out with it, and then that was the only thing on the market for over a year. I think it kind of like it didn't get. It did well. It got its like 15 minutes of fame, and then it kind of sat there. And then now, as the brand has been building and more cigars are being added to the portfolio, it's like rebrought attention. So now there's like, you know, like on social media and stuff, I'm seeing all these guys like posting Revivalists and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. You know, like it's very dear to me, that blend, because it's your first. You know, it's like losing your virginity. Like, you're always going to remember her name. You might even have it tattooed on your butt cheek and not tell people, but you know, it's there
on the inner part of it. You got to spread in order to see it, but it's there. So, were there any like unexpected like challenges when you started your own line? You know, or was it something that you've already like kind of already knew the process of, and it was kind of streamlined?
No. Like, not at all. I mean, I knew how to like import, some basic things like that. But no, fucking everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong. But that's just like starting a business, you know, that's just part of the game. But it's been an incredible learning experience. I mean, the one thing is like, you know, for the past decade, I've been all around the US, you know, and building relationships with retailers and stuff. So that aspect of it, I definitely had like a foot in the door, you know, you know, versus some dude that's just coming out of the blue with a new line, because like I had relationships with these guys.
Yeah.
Fucking cigar carp.
Wow, that dude. Fuck you, Carpy. Anyways, yeah, we love our
what? What are fleshlights?
Your first girlfriend.
Man, that I have a tattoo that I would show you. That's kind of it, some other time. Yeah, sure they count if you named it.
Hey, Rosie Palmer and her 5 sisters too. I mean, that counts as well.
Yeah. I like to, you know, switch it up so Rosie gets jealous.
Yeah, you got to keep her thinking that she's not the only one.
Yeah, like I don't need you. I got another hand. or in the words of our buddy, he's got a fleshlight. You know, like I just find that that's too much work. Does that make me super lazy?
No, at all.
I just don't feel. I'm like, oh man, you have to clean that thing. It's too much effort. Like, it's just weird looking at you. You know, like I don't know.
I can imagine as you move, it's blinking and wiggling. Yeah, it could be a little weird.
I would almost prefer that they don't try to make them look like a real thing, because that makes it weirder. Like, just make it like a circle that says, you know, put here, like a hole, like, you know, like but when they try to design it and meld it and make it look like the real thing, it's just creepier, because like, oh man, this thing is like staring at me. It's weird.
Okay, quick cigar check.
These guys are fucking nuts, man. Burning a little bit wonky, but it's catching up.
Yeah, but mine actually is burning pretty good, and the flavors are actually really good in the cigar.
That's a super LE right there. It burns wonky just for you. That one you got. You're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, the profile is pretty nice.
Very good, very good.
Get some nice spice and like some, I call it like a sweet nuttiness on the retrohale. Pretty like mild, medium minus on body, not too aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It's not overly like powerful like you would think, because it's a darker looking cigar, and it's actually really, really like smooth for me.
Yeah, no, it's what's funny too is like when it was supposed to be a little bit fuller, but you know, some things like after, you know, like you test them obviously in the factory, right? And then you go home and you test it, but you let it rest. But it's also coming, I'm aging it in California, right? Versus like it being at Hoya de Nicaragua, right? Where Arteos is. And so when it hit the market, you know, it was like, has a good age on it, and then we get them and I'm like, oh, this is not as like strong, you know, like it really mellowed, but the flavor was still there, but you know, I had hoped it was going to have a little more strength to it, but I ended up falling in love with it for what it is. And so like, you know, but yeah, it looks like it would be, you know, red with the bear. Arteos, like that'd be this like full, but it's pretty creamy, and it has a little spice, but like it's not it'll hold up after a big meal, but it's by no means a kick in the dick.
No.
Some people like that shit though right now in the 2024 25.
They pay for it. Some people.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a fetish for some people.
We got a first question from the panel right here. Any fire cure tobacco in the works in the near future?
I wouldn't say near future, but yes, like I for sure, it's not so much fire cured, but like I am working on a dry cured line. So like, to throw in your bag to go fishing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, typically you would use like, I mean, there probably will be some fire cured used, but I'm super in, like I've been into this dry cured kick, like smoking a lot of, because like you can just leave them on the counter, do whatever. You don't have to care for them. And so I think there's a like it'd be fun to make some dry cured, because like the only dry cures there are from like old world English companies and like stuff. So I think it'd be cool to have like a US boutique dry cured line. Now I just told everyone and still gonna steal it, but that's all right.
Don't worry, these guys are we'll make them sign NDAs.
Yeah. Anyone, all 4 of you, or however many's in here, you cannot tell anyone, or Hugo will come and kill you.
Do I look like a cartel member? Like Ralph? Got that right.
Right.
So, do you? So, one of my questions was, which blend are you most emotionally connected to? But I guess that would be the Revivalist you were saying, because that was one of your first.
For sure. I smoke the most of the Wanderer, but Revivalist to me for sure is the most, emotional connection to it. But it's like every time I make a cigar, that becomes my favorite cigar for a period of time, and then because it's like you're discovering new things when you smoke it. You smoke a cigar once, sure, you get the essence of it, but like the more you smoke it, the more you kind of develop an understanding and a palate for that like profile. So yeah, whenever I come out with something new, that's like all I smoke. But my favorite cigar I've made, I think, is the Hook, but it was an LE, so I don't smoke it all that often.
So do you find yourself going back to like previous blends, and after you already like you said, when you introduce a new blend and you smoke it for as long as you do, because you want to keep figuring out what's the flavor notes of the cigar, and you go back to an older blend, are you like rediscovering it again, like for the first time? You're like, oh man, I forgot about this note. Or like what is your process when you go back to an older blend?
I mean, it's more so just like visiting an old friend you haven't seen in a bit. It's just like, oh yeah, there it is. Because like I don't smoke a lot of the Revivalist, but every time I do go back to it, I'd say I smoke it. Let's say one every like 2 months or something, but I'm smoking a lot of other cigars, so that's a good distance between it. And every time I smoke it, I'm like, oh, like it feels good. It's like a warm hug.
Yeah, it's like when you meet, like I said, when you meet an old friend, you pick up where you left off. It's like no time has passed.
Yeah,
it's just you're right back where you were when you first started smoking that cigar. That's awesome. That's a good feeling.
Oh, Sal's got some good taste.
Sal's freaking amazing. Yeah. If you ever like really see this dude, he has very good taste in his cigars. Yeah, the Hook is a good one. I've had that one before, and that was a really good cigar. I really enjoyed that one.
I watched a review of someone say it was the worst cigar and most boring cigar they ever smoked, and sometimes I'm just like perplexed, not only on mine but like other cigars that other friends in the industry are making. And I watch them. What fucking planet are they on? Like, I get not liking something, but saying it's like completely flat and completely this, you're like, I don't know if I trust your judgment. You can say you don't like it, and I'm totally cool with that, because that's subjective. But when you say like, oh, it has nothing, it's the most boring thing, it's like, well, take the dick out of your mouth, and then maybe, you know, like you'll taste better.
That may be, yeah. So yeah, so I do see a lot of reviews, and I don't like when I do mine, and it's sometimes it's hard for me to release a review that of a cigar that I don't like. It's not that, and I'm not trying, like, I don't ever shit on it. I don't ever like say, oh, it's the worst cigar ever. I try not to, right? And then I just say, for me, it's just not my flavor profile, you know, and that's where I leave it. But you know, though there are people, reviewers out there that are like, oh, this is shit, you know, don't ever fucking smoke it, this whatever. I don't believe in that, you know, because again, you know, the cigars are subjective flavor. You know,
yeah. Well, and I think sometimes too, there's even a bias about the cigars we smoke, right? Like, you know, like, does Jeremy like Gurkha? Yeah, I love cognac flavored cigars. The red wax one, amazing. I used to smoke it actually with it, so like I haven't smoked it in years, but you know, the thing is like there's certain cigars, like when you get to know a brand, right, and you can kind of expect a wheelhouse of what you're going to get. So we're going to have things we like and things we dislike, none of which, whether you like it or dislike it, make it a good cigar. It's just because that's all up for grabs. You know, it's like what you like versus what I like. Sometimes like we have you know, sometimes we'll align on stuff and sometimes you're not going to, and it's like that's why there's so many options out there.
That's very true. Very true. Now, I think there was a question on one. Someone asked about which of your line you feel is the most Cuban-esque.
Yeah.
If there's any.
No,
I don't think they were asking
Or-
about his line. I think just maybe cigars in general.
Or what cigar does Jeremy think is the most Cuban-esque?
I mean, do you even smoke Cuban cigars or not really?
Well, I'm trying to think. Do you want me to say like which cigars are the most poorly constructed on the U.S. market, and then I can make a comparison to Cubans?
Boom.
No, honestly, nothing in my stuff is a lot more rustic, so nothing in my portfolio. A good Cuban is great. Like I love smoking a good Cuban. Like, you know, like, but what lines? I mean, that's weird. I don't know how to like answer that. I mean, like,
so it's a joke.
It's a lot of similarities. Like if I smoke an Epernay, it kind of gives me the same experience, I guess I would say. But like, I don't smoke them because they might be Cuban-esque or not.
I got
You know,
you.
if I want to smoke a Cuban, I'll smoke a Cuban and enjoy a Cuban.
It's a running joke between the circle that watches all these fucking lives. They
They want they compare it into Cubans, so that's
no, well, because some people say, "Oh, this cigar is so Cuban-esque." Like, what the fuck does that mean? Especially like a certain brand, but we're not gonna talk about that today.
So Cuban-esque, yeah. So, are there any like upcoming like limited editions or anything upcoming projects that you're excited about, or that you can even talk about? That you can even talk about.
Yeah. No. So I have another line, a core line that'll be dropping. None of my stuff was ready for the show, so but I would say in a month and a half, I'll have a new line, and it's called Dead Drift. So that'll be like I'm gonna start posting about it to kind of, you know, build some anticipation. But that's a core line, regular production. It's using a Criollo 98 wrapper. I love it, but then again, like I said, anytime I make something new that I smoke it and I'm like, oh, this is the best thing since Velcro, and then, you know, I get bored of it. So that, and then I have the breakdown, which will be the LE that'll come, you know, around July, and that's the completion of the 3-part with the intro, the hook, and then the breakdown. Yeah, so those are the two things and then I have one other thing that I'm going to do, but maybe on a super small scale. Oh, I could also mention I just did for Club Humidor in San Antonio.
Oh, nice.
I just did a collaboration with them, and the first weekend of May, we're launching the cigar. They have a cigar that's called 113, and like they've had different manufacturers make it for them, and it's kind of a cool concept because it's like basically they have the same blend, but each manufacturer takes the cigar carpenter. Yeah, it's super unique, right? But there's a I totally forgot what I was. Oh yeah, Club Humidor. We're doing it. So like Room 101 has done it, 724, Espinosa, and so this year I did it. So we take essentially the same blend and then make it our own style. The factory like does, and so we're releasing that cigar. So they already have it, but we're doing the launch on May 1st.
Are you gonna be there at the in San Antonio?
Yeah, I'm going out for it.
Oh, so then I'll try to make it out there because I live in San Antonio. That'd be badass.
There you go.
Is this a date? We just
hooked up. We just swiped right on each other right now. There you go. Boom.
How tall are you, Frank?
I'm so fucking jealous, bro.
I'm like 6'1".
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you look like a nice burly. I'm gonna cuddle up with you.
Hey,
I'm gonna bring all the California with me.
I'm waiting for that.
Wow.
So I guess for someone that's gonna start trying out Wildfire that hasn't tried it before, where would you think they should start? Like what cigar in particular should they start at?
I mean, I would start with the Revivalist because I think it's like such a good depiction of the brand as far as like it's rustic. It's not heavy, but it's like earthy cocoa notes. It's like a cigar. You know what I mean? Like it's like a cigar that when you're like, hey, how would you describe it? And you're like, oh, it tastes like a cigar. Like that's what I feel like the Revivalist is, but it's intentionally that. Like sitting around a campfire, you're drinking like, well, for you guys, Lone Stars, right? For me, it'll be Coors Banquet, right? And
I love Coors Banquet. That's one of my favorite ones. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's like it feels like when I smoke it, I'm encapsulated in that like memory of like, you know, camping and all that kind of stuff. So I always recommend people start there, and then there is zero continuity between my blends. So some guy you might like Revivalist and hate Wanderer. You know, you might love Wanderer and hate the other two. And that's intentional. Like I'm not trying to make a specific profile that shows up in every cigar. You know how like when you smoke Padron, right? The 1000 line to the 64, it's all Padron. It's just like varying degrees and obviously complexity and things like that. But it's Padron. You know you're smoking Padron. Or AJ has like his like, or you know, Pepin. They all have their like patented like styles that they mark on their cigars. And I like the idea of going like, what do I want to make? Like, you know, what kind of cigar do I want to make now? Like I don't go off of like anything other. Like the Breakdown is a full-bodied cigar. And it's rich and I love it, but it is not something I would smoke on the regular because it's above where I want. I mean, I'm in the medium plus full flavor, but like strength wise, that's what I want because I can smoke it all day long. Something like this, I love, but it's not something I want to smoke every day.
I got you.
So it's fun to make stuff just like whatever floats my boat.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, I'll try that. So then the Revivalist would be the first one. Where would you go number 2?
Well, there's only 3 options as far as regular production, so this is a pretty short conversation as far. But
any conversation is great, man.
I think the Wanderer is, for me, it satisfies everything I want in a cigar. Not meaning it's a perfect cigar in like, but for me and what I like, something rich, something that has flavor, a little tiny bit of sweetness, but like it's savory, so I can smoke it any time of the day. You know, it's medium bodied, but it's got a lot of like flavor to it. So like I'd probably take them to that, you know. And then Arteois, I would, probably third, because even though I think a lot of people look at it and they expect something out of it, and then because it doesn't deliver in the way of what is in their head, I think people have to be a little more open-minded with it, right? Because what they're expecting is not necessarily what you're getting from it.
That makes sense. Gotcha. So when you blend a cigar, do you blend it for something that for your taste or something that you think you'd like, or do you try to go with like suggestions from what you've gotten from other people, or like do you try to blend for other people?
No.
Or is it something for yourself? Something that you think?
And I think this goes back to like, you know, have there been hardships with starting a business? Like, I go back and forth with the blends because like I want it to be something that I enjoy, and then I hope that there's enough people out there that will enjoy it as well. Like I don't want to make a cigar just to make a cigar. Like I want it to say something. So if you don't like it, that's okay, but I want it to be like an expression. You know, it's like a chef, right, at a Michelin star restaurant. He doesn't give a fuck what you think. He's making this presentation and all this, right? And then enough people that want that kind of experience go. And then it's like, if you want to make a cigar like a McDonald's where it's readily available, there's plenty of those too. You know, like they both have their purpose, but I'm definitely making for my own palate.
So when people smoke your cigars, you want them to smoke. They have the Jeremy McDonald experience.
Yeah, I want them to taste me in their mouth.
There you go. You want people to have you in their mouth. Boom.
Uh-huh.
That's how we do it.
But then It also hurts a little more when people like shit on it, because it's like your baby and you're like, oh, I really like this. And then they're like, oh, it sucks. And you're like, or they're like, they give you praise for it. And it's like, that means more, but then it also cuts a little more because you're like, yeah. But
yeah, no. I get that. I mean, it's why, like, for me, it's very hard to like talk trash about a cigar, a cigar that I don't like. And sometimes what I'll do is like, hey, I'll message like because I get cigars sent to me from like companies that are just starting and stuff. And when I do the review, and if I don't like it, I'll like message them, hey, look, this is what I tasted, or the construction was bad, and I can't give it a good review. But I'm gonna let the cigars rest a little bit, and maybe on the second time around, and maybe I'll figure something out. But yeah, to go on YouTube or Instagram and just shit on it is just a very hard thing to see sometimes, because I mean it's someone's hard work and dedication, and the amount of time it took you to make that cigar, and and someone's there like, hey, no, sucks, don't try it. You're like, well, fuck, that's not.
Well, the way I look at it is like anytime I try a new cigar, and I like to smoke a variety of stuff, and I try like as much as I can, and smoke like everything new that I can. And it's like, even if I don't, it's not my profile, like what I dig. I want to know, like, what's the story? Like, what's he trying to tell me in this cigar?
Gotcha. Exactly.
And I like that process, because like it may not be for me, but if it's like, oh, I understand where this cigar has its place, obviously in the same way when you're talking about reviews, if something is like poorly constructed, well, one, it's a man-made product, but two, so like errors are going to happen, but two, that's the shit that should be good. Like if it's not constructed well, it's hard to enjoy any cigar.
Correct. But like for me, if I have construction issues, but the cigar is good. I don't ever like knock out points for construction. I mean, again, we all understand that they're man-made products, and not we're not always going to get the every now and then a stem goes into the product, or something's not packed correctly. I understand that, and also the environment has a lot to do with your smoking. I mean, like you can have the best quality cigar, and if it's humid outside, it'll puff up on you, and it'll basically explode on you. And it's not something that is the roller or the cigar brand's fault, but it's just the environment. And
right,
I see. Going to your point, yeah,
it happens more than you'd think. Like I was in Arizona, and obviously the weather, like hot and dry, and I bought a Padron Anniversario, and I walked outside to smoke it, and it blew up on me. Right, it's not Padron's fault. Now sometimes the construction stuff is going to be like the manufacturer's fault, right? Like shit happens, but like something like that, that's the climate in which they had it over humidified in there to counteract. But then as soon as I took it out, it just like combusted. And I was like, shit, that was I went back in and the guy would like replaced it, which was cool, but like wasn't the fault of the manufacturer that it blew up in that circumstance.
I get it.
We had a question. They're asking, aside from Wildfire, what are the most common cigars you keep in stock in your humidor collection? Yeah.
I smoke a lot of. I still smoke a fair amount of Caldwell cigars. Specifically, King is Dead. I smoke a lot of Illusione. I'm a big Epernay fan. I like the High Clare Castle. I smoke some of Nick's stuff, the original, the Connecticut.
Yeah.
I hear that's a great cigar. I've only had the Victorian, the red band, right?
Yeah, and that's good too. And you know what's funny, dude, is the Connecticut one is like the least popular of all of them. But the funny thing to me is like it tastes like. I made a joke to Nick about when I came out with the intro, because like the intro was kind of a bolder, rough, like spicy Connecticut, right? And I did it as an LE. And I told Nick, I'm like, dude, the intro is the redheaded like the bastard son of like the High Clare Castle, because the High Clare Castle is like everything elegant, but it still tastes Nicaraguan, and like it's a fantastic cigar. And I wasn't trying to emulate the cigar; it was more of a joke. But it's like a dirtier, rougher version of that, but intentionally. So yeah, Illusione, Little Foundation, some Warped, some of Warped stuff, Kyle's stuff I get down with. It just depends, but I smoke a pretty good variety. Every once in a while I smoke some of Skip's stuff when I'm in the mood for like a heavier smoke. So like I smoke kind of all around. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
That's good. At least you're not stuck with like just your particular blend and your brand, and it's always good to have that different like flavor profiles to kind of like maybe at a certain point you're like, okay, hey, I like this particular wrapper. Maybe I can start implementing it with my stuff. So it's always good to have that variety. Yeah. But
what is the boldest cigar in my portfolio? Well, the Breakdown will be when it comes out. I wouldn't say any of my cigars are really bold in nature. If you're talking about strength, if you're talking about flavor, Arteois is a bold flavor, but it's not heavy on the palate. So it just, I don't. It depends whether you mean flavor or strength.
This guy is looking for the heaviest,
spiciest.
He wants as soon as you take that first puff to go directly to the toilet. Bubble guts.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he wants.
I don't know what you enjoy smoking, but I hope you continue to enjoy that.
This guy licks the car mufflers after they, you turn off the engine, and he says it's not hot.
Yeah. It's still not hot enough for him.
It's not still not hot enough for him, bro.
It's like that when you go to like a Thai restaurant, and they're like, "What level do you want?" And you're always with one guy that's like, "I want a 10," and then like no one can even eat it, but he's like sweating, but he's like, it's like a 5, but it looks like the fire is already going through him and about to come out him. Yeah,
dude, that's the way I eat my Thai food. It has to be super spicy, and then like it comes out the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
No Cameroons or Cameroon is my favorite wrapper, but no, like I don't feel like putting out a $25 cigar right now trying to get, and I don't know, Cameroon is, I'm not a fan of the Cameroon. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be saying it, but like I'm not the biggest fan of the Honduran grown Cameroon that's popular right now. It's too dry for me. But I love authentic African Cameroon. It's my favorite wrapper on the planet. Mm-hmm. I just smoke other people's that have done it better.
Gotcha. Quick cigar check.
Entering the last third.
Yeah, and the construction's pretty good, man. Like I've no wavy lines or anything.
Hey, I'm a slow smoker. If I'm like way ahead of you guys, what the fuck is going on? You guys are turtles.
I'm fucking enjoying the hell out of the cigar, bro. You're just puffing away.
I'm slow. Well, actually, I'm actually smoking a little bit faster than usual right now.
Well, because we're also talking and trying to. Yeah, I get it. Oh, it's still very good.
You're talking.
That's what I just said. I'm talking. So, I got one of the questions here. You've got a very raw and honest tone in your branding and message. Was that always like the intention, like from the get go, from the start?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I've been in this industry quite a long time, and there's like a level of like, from different capacities, right? From retailer to like sales rep to a national sales manager, and it's like, one, I mean, like, the whole kind of celebrityism in our industry, which is like a joke to me, right? Like, I mean, I just enjoy smoking with people, and like, if people like my cigars, cool. If they don't, we'll just smoke something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's at the end of the day, like I would rather just have good interactions with people, smoke cigars. That's kind of the whole ethos of the brand anyways, right? Like, it's just sitting around a campfire, telling stories, having a good time, going through life with people. And like, the cigars are just I love tobacco. I'll nerd out on it all day long, but when I go into a store, I don't want to sit there for 3 hours just talking wrapper, binder, filler, because it's like, I would rather find out, like, who are you? Why are you here? Do you like, what are you smoking? Like, and just getting to know them, and vice versa. So, I mean, I think that in any industry, it's easy to take yourself seriously. And I'm a serious person when I get into conversations, but my outlook is much more just kind of like, I don't have anything to prove to anybody, and they don't got to prove anything to me.
That's amazing. That's the best way to do it, man. Also, where's Sally the skunk and Randy the deer right now? I don't know.
If I ever can get some African Cameroon and actually make a good blend, then we will.
Definitely. Yeah. So, one of my favorite like interviews you had, or not even, it's not a full interview, just a little conversation you had with one of the guys that interviewed you, is when you started talking like, I like the fact that you don't take yourself too serious when it comes to like you know, you're a little bit of a jokester here and there, and you're not as serious as some of these like people that are blending the cigars, and that I think that makes the experience a lot more interesting. Like when I see you on these podcasts and interviews, I really do enjoy that. I really do enjoy the fact that you seem like somebody that's just a funny person, a fun person just to be around. So, you know, that's amazing. By the way, I had to bring that up. Just,
well, I mean, I appreciate it because I mean, like, you know, when I get asked to do these kind of like podcasts or am at a shop, it's all the same interaction to me. It's like we can go through my history, and I'm happy to do it, and we can talk like the shop parts of it, but you know, it doesn't make a conversation. Well, it's not a conversation. It's right. It's just like me talking about like, oh, look at me and look at what I do, you know, and like, I mean, people told me when I was the national sales manager for Caldwell, they were like, oh man, you don't wear a suit. People aren't going to take you seriously. They're not going to, I'm like, why the fuck not? Like, if you're authentically you and you feel comfortable in your skin, I believe that's where you're most effective in selling anything, really, you know, because like that there are no pretenses. Like, I'm not trying to sell you on Wildfire. Like, if a guy comes up, I've been in many stores and a guy comes to an event and he says like, I want to suck on a muffler, you know, like you're talking about. And I'm like, rad, let me take you into the humidor and I'll show you some other stuff that you can do that with.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I want someone to enjoy their experience. It doesn't matter if it's not mine. Cool. Like, you know, obviously it's how I make my living. So hopefully enough people enjoy it and we can like, you know, have a good time with the fact that we're all enjoying Wildfire tonight. But like, if you guys weren't smoking Wildfire, it would not change this interaction whatsoever. You know, I agree. Without clothes, I am most comfortable.
Same here.
Well, good thing today you have clothes on because I think we might get banned off of YouTube. But thank you.
It's still early.
Well,
still early. It might still happen.
I can assure he has a top. I don't know about the bottoms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Party on the bottom, business on top, or it's like a mullet.
It's like a mullet or a closed mullet. So you've connected with your loyal following. What do you think? Like, what have your customers taught you?
You know what? I think the fact that there is like a group of guys that are really fans of the brand. Like I knew there'd people that would like the cigar versus not like the cigar. But I mean, like, I think the fact that there are guys that are like, oh man, like, you know, there's a dude that went and got, you know, a Wildfire tattoo on him. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I'm like, this is like, I'm like, it's kind of dope because it's like, oh man, it means I am actually getting to be a part of these guys' life. Like what I'm doing. No, I'm not changing the world, but the fact that it means whether that's because they love the cigars or the brand or just interactions we've had, I think that that's been like hugely, I didn't expect that. And, it's been super cool to like, you know, have people like, I was in a store and a guy he was smoking the Wanderer, and he was telling me that his wife had like 6 months prior passed of cancer and all this just really, really heavy stuff. And he's like, this is her favorite cigar. So I wanted to come to this event and honor her. And I'm like, the fact that like now that cigar is encapsulated for a memory with him and his like, you know, past wife, like that kind of stuff. It's like, you don't expect that to, like, you don't think cigars are going to have any real meaning, but they do for those that enjoy, because it's not just the cigar, right? It's like the experience and everything around it. So that's been huge for me, is just like not a like a ego, like my head's getting big, but just like, oh, that's fucking rad that it means something to somebody.
Yeah. So there's a question from a cigar carpenter, Ugo. If you want to go up one, it says, Jeremy, do you and Sebastian exchange beard care routines?
No, because Sebastian puts shit in the beard and I don't. I'm like, I don't braid it, I don't comb it. Oh, I lie. I have a thing and I do just do that. But I don't use beard oil or anything like that. I'm way too ghetto for that. But he has like this whole routine. And it's funny to me that there's a whole process of beard care. But I love Sebastian.
Nice.
Do you have Wildfire up in Canada?
We do have it up in Canada already. I would have to go on Instagram to figure out the stores that carry it, but Wildfire is in Canada.
Okay, there you go.
How about besides Canada? Where other international, or is it just right now U.S. and Canada?
U.S., Canada, and Norway, and I think, and that's it. What I've been trying to do is make sure I could satisfy the U.S. market, and take care of that before I start venturing out. But with Canada, I had like a super good relationship with the guys. I had worked with them with past companies, so it was like a no-brainer. Like, we're like, all right, let's just do it. But all other international markets, it's like I'm tiptoeing into it, but I am, by the end of this year, there'll be some more countries on the list.
That's good. That's a good thing to start is doing the international stuff, because I mean, I know a lot of places still are really geared toward Cuban cigars, but now you see a lot more of these newer world cigars, what they call new world, but the different tobaccos, they're starting to appear more now. Like I see with Instagram, you start seeing like all these people from different countries have, some of these boutique brands that are starting here, and they're now in like the Dominican or wherever, other countries. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it is super cool that, like, when I used to go to Intertobac and go to Germany, like I would see like most of the humidors like would be maybe like 80-20, 80% Cubans, max 20% domestic or New World cigars, whatever you want to call it. And because of all that happened with the Cuban cigars, now it's like really created this new opportunity. And it's like, I'm talking with guys like for the Middle East and then like all these areas that I didn't even think were like, I didn't know that, like, I know that tobacco is popular and Cubans have been there, but it's like it took Cuban cigars having to skyrocket in price for people to be even willing to try, and then they're like, oh, they found stuff that they like in the New World profiles. So it's pretty cool what's happened.
Yeah, it's true.
Not for Cuban smokers, but
yeah, it's true. But there's still always there's always going to be somebody that's going to buy those cigars, and they're not going to stop selling, even with the price hike, because Cubans are a whole different animal in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So let's see here. What does a day in the life of Jeremy look like?
After you put on the clothes.
Yeah, after I put on, wake up, make breakfast. If I have my daughter, drive her to school, come home, answer emails, calls. It's really an exciting day. Maybe visit. I have brokers, so now I'm spending less time in shops to make it more intentional when I'm in shops, so that it means a little more, I guess. But I still, and then just get the work done, drink my coffee, usually masturbate around like 1. I'm like an afternoon guy. Like I'm like, I get the like, hey, what's going on? Like, no,
just old school.
No,
you're an old school guy.
Yeah. Or just close your eyes.
Yeah.
Put the pillows.
Are you courtesy spit or lube or just dry handed?
I like it dry. I like it dry. If it, or it's like you get a little chafing because you had too much fun, like I like to earn it.
The longer it goes, the more it hurts, the better it feels. Boom.
Talk a little dirty to myself. Get my, that's when I want to romance, a little romance.
So,
I mean, it's, yeah.
Well, he doesn't play the banjo, but this fucking guy's a rock star. You play in a band, right?
I do. Yeah, I do play guitar in a band, and I do have a banjo. It's just not my main instrument. But yeah, no, I've been playing guitar, and I play in bands. I've been in bands, and it's just for like. It's funny. Music is an area that, like, as I was growing up, and then I went on like tour for a bit and was like, I don't want to do this for a living. And as soon as I did that, then music became like the best thing ever, because like I had zero expectations. I didn't have to make anything off of it. And so I've continued to play in bands over the years, and I just do it. It's like for like my mental health, like I get to let all my aggression out and not be an asshole to other people. I get to let it out in the music, and it's fun. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that leads to my next question. This is music plays a big role in your vibe. Mm-hmm. What's your current go-to soundtrack for a good smoke?
Pink Pony Club.
Pink Pony Club.
Yeah. I've never.
You ever spell wrong? It's a no. I don't. My daughter listens to that song all the time. That's why it's in my head. But
because like for me, I love listening to grunge music, like the Stone Temple Pilots, the Nirvana. I'm in my mid 40s, so that was my time growing up. So that is like a nostalgia. So like whenever I'm smoking a cigar, that's what I listen to.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, that's the same. I'm 45. And like 90, I mean, I played and listened to a lot more punk, but I love grunge music, like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots. That's Smashing Pumpkins. It's an era. You know what's really funny is my band was playing this show recently, and these like barely 21-year-old girls came up after we got done playing, and they were like, oh, like, we love your vibe, and they were buying shirts, and I'm like, oh, cool, thanks, like, I really appreciate it. And they're like, yeah, like, we're like in, and they had just discovered like Smashing Pumpkins and Pearl Jam and all these, and because I've been playing music that came from that era, right, it's not like I'm emulating, I'm playing stuff I grew up on, right? Yeah, but for them it's new, so they were like, oh, it's like you're like relevant and cool, and I'm like, this is hilarious. It just proves that if you do something long enough, it becomes cool again for a second.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It all comes back eventually at some point. Yeah.
Some Milli Vanilli.
Fuck yeah. Girl, you know it's true.
Oh shit.
Money.
Oh man.
Come on.
Oh man. We went there? Wow.
Dude, okay. Fuck yeah, dude. Like it's music is like, that was like what I grew up on in the 80s, bro. Like Milli Vanilli, Ace of Base in the 90s, right? But
there you go.
Shit, yeah, dude.
Jeremy, when is your next gig? I'm in LA. I'll go be your number one fan.
We're playing the 27th of this month. It's a Sunday evening.
Oh, okay. Cool. I think I'm free. I actually have a And yeah, because you're in the OC, right? You mainly play in the OC area, or
Yeah, we don't do LA too much. I mean, look at the thing is if we get shows out there, no one's driving to LA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so we don't have like we don't have we have a local fan base, not a big fan base. You know what I mean? So like they're not driving to LA for us. So then we're gonna play for nobody, and everyone's gonna be like, "Who are these losers?" You know? So
I mean,
but LA has a bunch of obviously cool spots and cool venues.
yeah. You usually play like at like bars or like what kind of venues you get
Bars, venue, like, you know, local venues. The show on the 27th is actually a skate shop that like every week they close the door, like they shut down, and then they move all the like apparel to the sides, and there's no stage. It's just like very punk rock shows, but it'll be a lot of fun because like there's no stage, so there's no divider between you and the audience, which is super fun because then you're like right up in everybody's grill whether they want you there or not.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. Yeah, I'll tune into your band page so I can make it that big.
Yeah. And you know, like for me, it doesn't matter if there's a band like I don't know. I still love listening to live music, man. I mean, I'm sure even if you went to LA, you'll find a people that'll go to these shows and listen to the music, man. It's just a live music is a whole vibe in itself, and it's just an amazing thing just to be part of.
You know what was funny is I went to a show last week at the Shrine in LA, and it's a band from the 90s, and so like during the set change you go out to like the smoking section, and it's like so uncool to smoke now, right? But like since it's all guys like in their like mid 30s to 40s and girls, everyone was chain smoking, and I was laughing so hard because I was like, only at a show that's like catered to people over 35 or they're going to actually be smokers there. But there was like 150 people like chain smoking cigarettes, like, and I'm like, my people, you know, like this is where you are.
My people.
That's pretty cool. So I'm just touching up the cigar here real quick because I kind of went out on me. Let's see what do we have here?
Wait, I have a question about that. I saw on your page you craft your own blends or you come up with your own blends. What's the range that's taking you to come up with your blends? All the cigars you have currently like offered, from the fastest you've blended to the longest blend.
The longest is one that I've been working on now for a year and a half and still don't have done.
Oh shit.
But that is specifically because we came up with the blend, got it dialed in, and then that wrapper, we went to buy it because, like, you know, you'll have like samples from factory A, B, and C, right? So we went to buy it and they wouldn't sell it to us. And so we've continually tried different varietals of the same strain, and none of them have worked. And so it's like been the most frustrating thing because I want that cigar to come to market, but assholes won't sell me the tobacco.
Okay.
So, and then I think each time I go, though, it gets a little easier because, like, the very first time I went down, especially like when I'm at, you know, I deal with Hoya de Nicaragua, and then I deal with FCT in Honduras that Sebastian Cavalier's out of. When I go to Hoya, it's a much more guided process. Like, they have their roller next to me the entire time. They're making suggestions. It's a lot of smoking and then them making notes and then them kind of like guiding the process. When I go to FCT, I'm thrown into a room with just a bunch of tobacco and they're like, cool, tell us when you have something. And the first time I was down there, it was infuriating because I had spent 2 days and already done like over, no joke, 50 blends, and I was like getting nowhere. And because I didn't understand, that's like, you think like, oh, this is going to work with this, but it's like being thrown into a kitchen without being properly trained, right? So it's like I'm adding spices thinking that it's going to turn into something great, and they all just one after the next are not balanced. And it's okay, you can make something unbalanced and good, like if you want it to be a specific note to come forward. But then I was sitting with their master blender at FCT, and he was like, pick one component you really like, and he's like, and then build off that. And it changed the game for me, because then I started getting yardage out of what I was, rather than like, let me just put tobaccos together. It's very easy to make something that's smokable, but if you want something interesting, then like the breakdown, for example, I had picked one tobacco that I really wanted to showcase in it, and then the blend was built around it. So if I have, the Wanderer came together the quickest. In less than 24 hours, we had that blend like nailed. The more information like I have, so whenever I go down, I send kind of a wish list of different tobaccos I'd like to work with, because they're a small factory, so they don't have bales and bales and bales of tobacco, and they only have primarily what they use for like Cavalier, right? So it's like, if I'm wanting to use, it's a Honduran factory, yet I'm using predominantly Nicaraguan tobacco, so they have to acquire the stuff for me. And so I've gotten to work with some cool stuff, and then we find out we can't get enough of it to do a run with. So that's happened. But every time I go down, I'm getting a deeper understanding of how tobaccos interact with each other, or like, but that's the part I love though, right? So like, it's not like I'm going to ever get to the point where I walk down and I already have a blend set. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, this is going to guaranteed work with this, this, and this, because I always want some kind of interesting component in the cigar. And you have to figure out how to work with that component. Like for the breakdown, for example, the tobacco I'm using in it is India. And I'm super excited because it's only been used in one other cigar, and they didn't even disclose that they were using it because they thought it would be frowned upon. But for me, I'm like, are you fucking kidding? I get to use a tobacco that's like, I get to kind of essentially introduce to the market, because it's not Sumatra, but it's from India. And so like from the minute I was there, it was only like working with that to showcase that tobacco. So I don't know. That's a long-winded way of answering your question.
That's fine. Oh yeah, I mean, obviously it's like you said, you're going in pretty much like blinded, right? And you're putting things together, you're trying them, this and that. So that's cool. And that's fucking cool that you actually go down to the factories and play with the fucking tobaccos on there. You know what I mean?
Well, you could get good cigars, right? And there are a lot of people, and I've talked about this before in interviews where they just like, hey, which sample do you want? Cool, that's your new blend. Like that happens way more than people like to talk about.
Yes.
Like everyone's like, oh, I went, blended it, and it's like, oh, I got this package in the mail and selected blend B. I'm a blender, and I don't call myself a blender, right? Like I'm learning. I'm a brand owner, but I wouldn't call myself a blender just because I can make a few dishes. Like I'm not a chef because I can, cook a few mean dishes.
Right.
But it's fun because that's how I feel like I'm going to be able to make like my own stamp on it, is like, I've had I've sat in a room with Sebastian and Brian from Cavalier, and Brian, they're like, well, this is good. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not doing it for me. And so then, again, that kind of goes back to earlier what we were talking about as far as like, am I blending for other people or not? And it's like, no, it has to hit me a specific way in order to like want to move forward with it. Like something about the blend has to interest me. So yeah.
So like when you go into the factories or whatever, do you already have like a profile you kind of want to like create with whatever cigar you want to blend for, like, for that particular time? Like if you're going into a new cigar line, do you already go, you know what, I want a more medium plus, darker, richer cigar, or once you're there and you try them, do you like, okay, this is what I actually want?
Depends on the trip and the guests. Peruvian and like Peladoro is some of my favorite tobacco. I have not used it yet in one of my blends. I have messed with it and not got it to work in a blend, but eventually, yeah, I love Peladoro. Love Peladoro. It's a beautiful tobacco. Sometimes though, I have kind of a vision of what I want, and it's more of like a broad, like I want something that would be, maybe like spice forward, or more the experience of it, what I want to come out of that cigar. And then it's trying to figure out how to get it there. But, I correlate it a lot to like music, right? Because I write music. And so I come up with a riff, and then you start building on that, right? Whether sometimes it's a riff and I build a song, or maybe it's a chorus and I build a song out around it, or maybe it's lyrics and then I'm working backwards and I'm building a song around the lyrics. And so there's no one way that I have no consistency in the way I've approached cigar to cigar yet. Yes, I have.
She's cool. We had her on the podcast last month.
And that's kind of the fun though, is like I go down there and it's like, I've had trips I've gone down there and I got nothing out of it except experience, but I didn't come out with a blend. But then I take notes on that stuff. So then it helps me for my next trip. Okay, I tried this with this and I didn't like how it worked. So let's try, let's go a different direction. Domino's.
Yeah, Domino's.
Yuck.
Hey, Domino's is good. Better than Pizza Hut.
What? Oh, hell
Pizza Hut is like a grease pit, just like someone wiped it in their armpit.
Well, what the fuck, bro? Dude, it's fucking pizza.
I'm Italian, bro, and the Pizza Hut is shit.
What do you guys want? Fucking healthy? Go get a salad.
We're not talking about healthy. Well, I know, but like flavor-wise, you want some sort of fucking flavor.
All right, you know what?
Peter Piper is better than freaking Pizza Hut, bro.
Peter Piper. Well, I mean, you left off the lowest brow, like, which would be Little Caesars, but I'd probably go with Little Caesars because bang for buck, you can get a couple of ties.
$6 there, whatever it is now. I think now it's like $6, $7.
Yeah, we have a knockoff here called Pronto Pizza, and that thing's pretty good.
But when in Rome, right? There's a time and a place for everything.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.
So when you think of a blend, or you think of a blend, do you already have like a name, kind of like in mind, or is it right then and there when the blend comes to like fruition? Do you like, okay, now we're gonna name it this, or do you go in thinking, you know what, I'm thinking of this name, and you kind of like blend toward that name?
No. They're completely separate for me. I don't. I just pick the name. Jacqueline Sears, who works, like, she's a part of Wildfire. She has like crazy street cred in this industry, from like Caldwell to Drew Estate, and like, so she and I, will usually come up with like a concept for like imagery. and then I come up with a name based on the imagery, and then I figure out what I want to, what we want to call it. Except with the LE series, the musical stuff has been very intentional. So like the single that I first launched with, and then I did the B-side last year, it was the same exact cigar, same exact components, but I switched the binder and the wrapper on it just to show how different a cigar could be. I wish I had been smarter and done them closer together so people could A and B it, because the single's already gone. But what was cool is like it was a visual attached to like what an actual B-side would be. It's the same exact, it's like, oh, flip it over, here's your B-side. But it's a totally different experience. Or like with the intro, hook, and breakdown, the intro, I wanted to make something that was like, I had the names, and then I was like, I want to design a cigar that would be interesting to kind of bring you in. And then the hook, I wanted to be the most broad, like, I wanted it to be the most palatable cigar I made, so that like whether you're full or medium or mild smoker, you could find something in enjoyment with that. And then the breakdown, I'm obviously intentionally making it heavy because I want it to like reflect that. So with the LE series, they're very connected with my regular production. It's more so kind of just all over. Whatever comes first, the name, the cigar, figure it out.
True. So what do you hope people feel or experience when they light up a Wildfire cigar?
Well, I hope they like it.
Yeah, that's the number one answer. Yeah.
I hope, but I hope they find it interesting, right? And I think that's more important. Maybe not on a business perspective, but it's more important to me that someone finds something interesting in it. Like I just want something slightly off the norm, right? Where they go, I don't want them smoking and saying, I can get this in this cigar, this cigar, this cigar, and this cigar. I want to give them just, even if it's just you can't reinvent the wheel, right? But I just want them to go, oh, that's interesting. There's a uniqueness to it. And that, if people get that when they're smoking the cigars, then they're understanding what I'm trying to communicate.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's dope.
Any advice for someone that's thinking about launching their own cigar brand?
Yeah, don't
besides don't do it.
Don't do it.
Really don't do it. No, I mean, it's just, what's funny is I have a picture framed on my wall that Booth sent me when I started, because like he and I have known each other, and he's like, why the fuck would you get back in this game? And then put like, and I thought it was hilarious. He's like, and it says, better. And the only reason I say it is just because like, obviously, like we haven't even talked about, and it's kind of actually been refreshing, but like, with everything that's going around as far as what potentially is going to be affecting, not potentially, what is going to be affecting the pricing of cigars, and the legislation going, and then me living in California, which obviously, Hugo, you get like, it's brutal here, right? Like my cigar's supposed to retail from, 10 to 12, and it's 15 to 18 bucks out here. And it's just going to go up. And it's like, it's hard because like, if you're walking in and you haven't tried a cigar before, are you willing to spend 17 bucks on a brand that you don't know if you like or not? So even with all the relationships I have and the work I've done in this industry, it's still an uphill battle, and it doesn't seem like it's getting better. So the only reason I say don't do it, I think people should do whatever the fuck they want and, follow your passion. But there is a reality attached to our industry where there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's a luxury. So it's not a great time to jump in right now, but I don't want to be the killjoy of someone's dreams. I'm just saying it's tough.
Yeah, and then there's so many competing brands coming out now. There's so many cigar brands coming out now. it's it's easy to get lost in the sauce with all the stuff coming out now, and plus, like you say, it's the experience and the price and where you're located out of. It's a lot to consider before jumping into something like like that. But it's good advice. I mean, thank you. I mean, I'm sure
I don't think anybody's trying to start up a fucking cigar brand though. Because
I mean, I get it, but I mean, it's just it's a question.
I get asked it, a lot and stuff, and I've had conversations with guys that are newer, like just debuting, and like or coming to market, and I talk to them, and I'm just like, like it's not, I have 20 plus years now in this industry and 20 years of experience in different capacities, right? Which doesn't, but it still doesn't make your product sell, right? The relationships I have and things may have gotten, me indoors, but like the consumer is the one who decides if your brand survives or not, right? Like if they buy it, the retailer can buy it, but if the consumer doesn't buy it from the retailer, doesn't matter. Like, like I watched last year, I was at the show and there was a booth of a brand and he was debuting and the brand's already gone. And it's like, it is a tough market because it's like, we're all eating off of one pie, but it feels like the pie's getting smaller, but we're all eating off it still. Like we need to go to Little Caesars and get more bang for buck.
Yeah.
True.
Are you going to PCA this year again? I know you were there.
Yeah. You know what? I was supposed to be in New Orleans yesterday. I had some family stuff come up, and so unfortunately I'm not going to be there at the show. But I'll be there in spirit, and I think on Monday there's a like a, what do you call it, like a cocktail party in the afternoon or something like that, and Wildfire sponsoring it, so people can go. Like there'll be Wildfire Cigars will still be there in some capacity, but no, it's actually been like a very unfortunate that it's because it's like it's our Super Bowl, man. And not having to make a choice to not go this year was extremely, like, it wasn't an easy choice, but I'm not going anywhere. I'll be there next year, and it is what it is.
Hopefully it's back in Vegas because I really want to go. Like, I mean, I like New Orleans and all, but oh man, Vegas for me is my go-to spot.
Well, next year it's still in New Orleans, and then it'll move back.
Yeah,
27 is when it moves back to Vegas.
So I'm probably gonna
but dude, you can go to New Orleans. You can get beignets at 3 a.m. I mean, like life doesn't get much better than that. And jambalaya, come on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty much already at the end of the podcast. Jeremy, we really do appreciate you taking the time and chatting with us, and hopefully we can book you for another session once, maybe later on when you have a couple more blends or your new blend comes out.
Yeah,
dude, it's been really fun talking to you. You're a cool guy, and hopefully May 1st, they're in San Antonio. I can go and just visit and see, and definitely check out what you got going on with the Cut and Light event over there. But
yeah, they've got it. It's a cool, like the blend is good, and it'll be a fun release with them. So it's the first, I don't know if it's May 1st. It's the first weekend in May, the Saturday. I forget what day that is, but you hit me up and then I can give you the information.
Yeah, man, definitely. But so usually at the end of the podcast, we go through and we kind of see what's upcoming this week for everybody. Ugo, what do you got coming up to this week, man?
Oh, and by the way, not sure we announced this, but DC, he's gonna be taking a few days off each month, so he won't be ads available as active on the show, just like Matt. But Randall's just out on a family event, right? But he'll be back like as a regular.
Yeah, usually we have 5 people on the podcast, but like a couple of people have been, different jobs and different stuff with their families.
They saw that I was coming on, and they were like,
"Fuck this, dude."
They were like, "We are not fuck Jeremy. Nah, we're not. We're boycotting."
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that, because people were wondering, and I don't think we announced it in the beginning, but so I have my Friday morning live at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know what I'm gonna smoke yet. I'll have to go look through my stash. And Saturday morning, I'm dropping the Arturo Fuente Opus Dubai sent from JD. So that's gonna be a good one.
Oh, fancy.
And that's it. My buddy sent it to me. So great cigar. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so for me, I have a couple more reviews coming up. I just posted my cigar bomb that Matt sent me, and I'm still trying to find time to film my my humidor tour. But other than that, I got a couple of reviews coming up, so it should be posted by this week.
Actually, Carpy had a question where she was nagging about. He's asking, how many shits do you take a day, and if you weigh yourself before and after you take shits to see how much you output.
That was in response to my question of what does a day look like for Jeremy.
Oh no,
because Carpy's like the Karen of our viewers. So if we don't answer his question, he gets like really butthurt. So I mean,
once a day, unless there's like problems. But I do not weigh myself before and after. I just know that I feel better and feel a little like, it's funny. This morning, my daughter was like, I came out of the restroom and I was like, I feel light as a feather. And she was like, Dad, that's gross. And I'm like, nah, I feel so good. So I hope that answers your question with some enthusiasm.
Like that, was it a Ron Wiley's like you ever take a crap so big your pants feel better?
Oh, I fit a little better. I don't think he was referring to poop.
Maybe.
No, because that gets weird. Well, not when my kid's home. That's me time. She's got to be out of the house.
Yeah.
She's got to be out of the house.
Yeah. Before I defile myself, I don't want to be like, oh, my 12-year-old might walk. No, that's weird.
Drop a load. Atomic bomb.
How about for you, Jeremy? What you got going on this week, man?
I'm going to be hustling, and I mean, I'm working the whole week on phones while I have stuff going because the show. So I'll still be. It'll be a lot of time on the phone, as it has been this last week, letting retailers know that like, oh hey, now I'm like I can't be there, so like just working, hustling the phones.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. So with that in mind, we're gonna go ahead and the podcast, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Don't leave, Jeremy. We'll see you in the backstage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace out.